cannot tell you how sorry I am. But neither can I let you escape!
Too brave by half. Exemplary work, as always, Emmett Selk.
What? But how? I thought the confluence was... over...
Over there? Yes. We were rather hoping you would.
It was never anywhere but where it is now. The instant those two began making their way towards nothing, 'twas clear the plan was a diversion.
I'm quite incapable of destroying a confluence, I must confess.
A gambit brazen beyond words. Though we've grown accustomed to reckless improvision due to the antics of an incorrigible associate. Though, in the case of certain present company, incorrigible is an understatement. Honestly, I'm beginning to suspect it's a requirement for every Azen. There's no time! Quickly! Even now, I do not believe your tale. I would not suffer us to walk such a wretched path. Still, if it must be said, do not squander it. The legacy I leave you.
Don't say it. I'm gonna cry if you say it.
Final process complete. Executing universal memory alteration.
Go, Argos!
And thusly we never met. Van Daniel gets separated from the memories of being Hermes, and Azamon comes to a slightly different conclusion on the destruction of the world.
I'm fine. Just a little tired. Can it be true? Are we the only ones left who see beauty in the world? In life? Are the stars above no more than husks of fallen civilizations? And yet, I feel her. Though she is unimaginably distant, I feel Meteion's presence, and the place where to we must go. Ere she made good her escape, I placed an enchantment upon her, one which allows us to follow her trail. She has already left the outermost bounds of Aetheris, and continues on her way. Given the vastness of the universe, it will still be no easy feat to track her down. But thanks to Emmett Selk and his Ladeus, all is not lost. We remember. So long as we remember, our fates remain ours to shape. What indeed? Let us begin by ascertaining the situation at Catesis Hyperborea, where the others should still be. Given the likely state of their memories, however, it would be imprudent for us to approach them directly. In which case... I am sorry, my friend. I've asked much of you this day. But may I trouble you one last time? Argos will investigate in our stead. We will share in his consciousness and see and hear as if we were with him. Now, close your eyes and open your mind.
All right. Oh. This is incredible.
Thank goodness you are unharmed.
Unharmed? There is a gaping hole in my memories. I can scarcely remember arriving here in Elpis.
Forgive me. I was preparing to demonstrate the functionality of Kairos to our guests. But Meteon, her shared consciousness became unstable. And she...
So, that's what prompted the state of alert. And when you went to investigate, you were caught in Kairos' accidental operation.
So it would seem. It's all a blur to me.
Such an unfortunate accident. Oh, and what of Venar and your other companion? You went inside together, as I recall.
We did?
If Venar was with us, I have no recollection of it. But that there is her familiar, is it not? The fellow seems happy enough, so I think it's safe to assume his mistress as well. I haven't the slightest notion who this other companion might be, however.
Ah, well, that individual struck me as a bit different, for want of a better word. Perhaps it wasn't actually a person, but some manner of creation.
Curious. I must ask Venar about it when next we meet.
Yes, you do that. Now, if we may tend to Hermes, whatever this Meteon did, it seems he bore the brunt of it. Once you are fit to travel, you will return with us to Amarot. We need to make certain there are no other ill effects. Also, I am here on business of the 14. We've already had the conversation, like as not, but since your toy wiped my memory, we'll have to have it again.
Yes, of course. As you see fit.
This Kairos, it manipulates memories through the emission of etheric waves, correct? There is a theory which holds that memories scoured by blasts of ether are restored when the soul is cleansed in the underworld. If true, then perhaps when our time comes to return to the star, we shall remember these few days we have lost.
I doubt aught of interest occurred.
I wonder if
Look
that
forward to the
means that's one of the
revelation if
reasons
you
Emmett
like,
Selk
but I
showed
should
up Elvis
prefer
with
to
the
reminisce
Litibus.
on more meaningful moments.
Because he remembered after he died.
Let us rest. if only for a while. After all, you and I... Oh, we still have a long, long way to go.
Yeah, bro, we actually going out into space? It's like, I should probably get back and just go take care of it. I don't feel like there's anything I can do here to help you all. Just go and continue the course of events of the past. I mean, really. Are you feeling at all recovered? I understand that your exertions were more than purely physical, but resting one's body, if only for a moment, is never without merit. As for Hermes, I think it unlikely he will create more Endwalkers. He poured much of himself into Meteion, and now that she and her sisters are gone, dissipated, in his mind, the grief must be unbearable. He will blame himself. He will believe that, had he had never acknowledged his dissatisfaction with the world, and the Metea would have never been born to suffer and die. The offer to join the 14 will be a welcome distraction, and one day hence he will face the advent of the final days in the role of Fandaniel. Oh my god. Yeah, I have no idea what just happened. I am, thou must live, die, and know. Very different from hear, feel, and think, I must say. Or love, live, laugh. Vana is watching you in quiet contemplation. Mermetal, listen to me. Our duty now is not to denounce Hermes for his misguided determination, or to convince Imitselk and Hythlodaeus that they have been deceived. Now, we must ensure that the experiences Hermes sought to expunge are preserved. What remains in our memories alone will be our weapon against the final days. You must fight this battle in your age, and I in mine. Come, let us walk together once more. I will see you to the doors of Propylion. And that's very interesting. So that would mean Hydaelyn has known all of this for all time. Unless this is still a separate timeline, but I feel like the whole memory thing is so it can like fit and match the events. Because even Vana wasn't entirely sure like why she made some of the decisions she did. But if she knew what had happened, then she made Hydaelyn because Hydaelyn already existed in the knowledge she had learned from me, and then she would have made the spaceship with the rabbits because she did anyway. Although we're still not really sure what that's for, because I don't think it's for. Also, I was right. I don't know if I don't think that she's the Cloud of Darkness. Maybe I think that one was a little bit of a stretch, but I was right. She essentially transforms to Dynamis and ends up becoming the woman we heard laughing. Assuming Hydaelyn can tell. Yeah, that's also true. We don't even know how Hydaelyn was made, because they were against sacrificing people like Zodiark was, and she was weaker than Zodiark, so I don't know what energy they utilized to create Hydaelyn. Unless it was the planet's very ether, because they always talk about her being the star, right? Like Hydaelyn is the star, and I was like, I can get behind that if she was made out of ether of the planet and not people, which it wasn't as strong as the amount of ether that these people had, and the millions of people that sacrificed themselves to Zodiark, probably. I don't know. It's a thought process I'm willing to give more thought to, but I did definitely call awkwardly enough, Meteion, I forgot her name for like a little bit. I think I got somewhat of a brain freeze. But yeah, Meteion, I did definitely call that she would end up being the woman we heard laugh and say at last. And I was also right that Fandaniel knew how the final day started. However, he doesn't remember, so I wasn't right about him recreating it based on memory. And yet, he still understood through research how it was to come to be, so then he recreated it, or like restarted it by killing Zodiac, because he was at least of that much aware, even though he didn't realize back in our time that he was the one who started it in the first place. Yeah, no one knew what did it. Well, he knew that it, or he knew that, well, he knew that the celestial currents became thin. Hermes already, even with his memory wiped of what just happened, he still knew what Dynamis was. But without Meteon around and the distraction of the 14, I think Fandaniel just gave up on trying to figure out, or like didn't connect Dynamis, maybe because he didn't want to think about Meteon. Memories are too painful, and then didn't follow through with like researching that. Is what I would guess. Got sundered, as well as tempered by Zodiac in a way. Then, as Amon recreated his desire to end all life, which is ironically reflected by Meteon, and therefore, when he got put into Asahi's body, whether that was possession or he was like Asahi all along, it's still not entirely clear. I think he just got Asahi's body purely for the purpose of money, which he used for the, I forgot, they revealed what he used that money for, but I can't remember what it was. And that desire to kill everything, he said like, he never felt like that old version, like Hermes was really him. He never really felt like it was him. And I feel like he was wrong. I feel like turning Garlemald all armies against, oh yeah. Said each other, yeah, that's right. I feel like he was wrong because Meteon's whole desire is exactly what Amon/Fandaniel felt as they went through things. Now, he was more on the train of Emperor Zonde, like through death and stuff, but it's very interestingly reflected. I think the desire was always secretly there, you know, repressed in the memories of his ether. And he probably remembered all of it. He probably got those memories back when he died. Because, I mean, at least according to the theory of Hythlodeus. But, no, I mean, he did know how the final day started. He didn't remember it afterwards. But apparently Meteon does something to start it. Because very clearly she's, like, is using Dynamis to cause complete annihilation to them in their time, and then us in our time. I only said she's a cloud of darkness because cloud of darkness is, like, so just random and, like, out there. I was just like, maybe the Dynamis transforms her into this giant evil beast. Or maybe not. I have no clue. So it was a crackpot theory I had. Throwing an axe in the dark. But let us continue. The cloud is void sent, I believe. A whole other topic. Yeah, I don't remember much about her out of the Crystal Tower. She was like the least interesting part, so I really don't know too much. But yeah, I mean, it was just a fun little connection I was having with the So like with both theories, I was right in bits and pieces of it. So I'm satisfied with that. It's better. I always hate it when I'm just completely and utterly wrong, and I'm like, well, that's not exactly where. I was like, that's not exactly where I thought this was going at all. Like, I was not right on any account. But being right a little bit's kind of fun. I think it's probably better than being fully right or completely wrong. Being fully right, I mean, I would have tons of bragging rights for calling it out or being correct in any shape or form. But I'm satisfied with where I'm at. Time in this age is drawing to an end. Upon speaking to Vanoss, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Entirety. Yeah, the Void Center are weird. I really don't know. I really don't know. The first Void Sent you fight tried to kill Nanamo when she was disguised and Thancred first met you, and then like after that, it's like these are Void Sent, and then here's the Cloud of Darkness, and it's like, are we gonna expand on that? I think the Void Sent are just essentially the same as Sin Eaters. If you tipped the world scale to darkness, I feel like the Void Sent would just be what comes out from that, whereas Sin Eaters come from if you tip it to light. I guess, maybe, I don't know. So, anyway, it's cutscene time.
So, it is within. The portal that brought you hither, and will take you home. I appreciate your sentiment. I truly do. But 'tis a very long game that we must now play. And while you have maintained a stable presence here thus far, there are dangers in lingering over long. No. You must return to your own battlefield. Make use of the knowledge you have attained, that your days here and our friends' sacrifice be not in vain. With Meteion free to pursue her designs, 'tis only a matter of time until the final days are upon us. We must be ready. From fortifying our defenses to securing our escape, there is much to be done. In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control. I must carefully consider who can be trusted, and bring them into the fold. Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to call upon the 14. However, it was the desire for a fair determination that drove Hermes to attempt to erase our memories. Were he made aware of his actions, there is no telling whether he would remain a friend or become a foe. Alternately, we might try to alienate him from the convocation. Yet in doing so, we would deprive ourselves of a brilliant mind who would be invaluable in the crises to come. Quite the dilemma. Which is why I must work independently of the convocation. Regardless of how we proceed, if we are to permanently avert the final days, we must be equal to Hermes' challenge. We must prove that mankind is worthy to exist. And this hinges, I think, on how we confront the all-consuming despair that accompanies a senseless and seemingly inevitable end. Bewildered and divided, we would perish like the peoples of those celestial ruins. We could not hope to survive the final days, much less take the battle to Meteion at her nest. We must find a way to defeat despair, to unite and prepare as many as possible for the struggle ahead. Heavy will weigh the burden of guiding this legion of souls. Yet I have faith in mankind's potential. As long as he believes in himself, there is naught he cannot achieve. So I will not give up on him. On us. You may find your world to be very different. Or perhaps the erasure of our friends' memories has sown the seeds of a conjunction between us. We cannot know until the moment is at hand. So shall I strive to do my best, taking naught for granted as I walk my path. And I pray you walk with me to the end. As you move forward, so too will I. As will all, resolved to fight for the morrow. And when mankind has found the strength to stand against despair, we shall silence the song of oblivion. She who sings it will learn our journey is far from over. This I promise. Fare you well, my light of the future, till we meet again.
I think our timelines are directly connected, so I don't think that the world's going to be any different. I could be wrong. I could come back to Alpha, No, and Ali say swapping colors, and it's like, we've always been this way, but...
From this day forth, I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Vandana.
Interesting. Final days. As Medion tries to kill them all. Wait, am I going... I'm going to another... I'm not going back to my time. I thought... Oh my god. Of course. Why would Yoshi P let me, you know, leave normally? Why would he let me go without, you know, causing me to feel immense fear and pain?
Even now, I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees. Where terror twists magics into abominations. Such is the lament of they who have gone before. The song of they who tried and failed to create a better world. The song of the end. That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer hope's creation. It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiac. And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days.
This stream is appropriately titled.
Yet the cries echoed still. We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable. A reality too terrible to bear. And for too many who sought comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
This is all wrong! Why must we suffer so?
It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
No, my friends. Suffering exists, and we cannot pretend otherwise. No civilization, however great, could eliminate it. If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion. Let us not seek to forget this tragedy. Let us carry it in our hearts, that we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
We can't accept it! We won't accept it! It will be ours again! A world free of sorrow!
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness. No paradise is without its shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
O mighty Zodiac! God, born of our boundless faith, we bid you, hear our prayer. Accept this offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had. Deliver unto us the days of old, the days when the star was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
You would destroy it? Our beautiful world?
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential, in his ability to find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us. No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk. 」 – 」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 – 「」 –
Oh, please show me something cool. Yes.
All is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment. I birth a world of suffering, to mire and plague. In one fleeting moment, lives come and go, ever moving towards the unknown. And in that fleeting moment, they cry for the answer to the question. Why, given life, are they meant to suffer, to die? As fragmented, imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest. A quest to find your purpose, knowing your end is assured. To find the strength to continue when all strength has left you. To find joy, even as darkness descends. And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Wow. Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. I don't know. I don't have words. I do not have words. That was... I mean, it was incredible. that was one of the best pieces of storytelling I think I've ever seen. That was absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope everyone's here, because I ain't saying this story twice.
Moamatzel, impeccable timing as always. I heard you were often the first as part of our efforts to investigate the final days. Well, as so often seems to be the case while you were away, we've had some developments, which we can discuss in just a moment. For now, however, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to have you back.
I would go ahead and mute my stream real quick, for a second. Specifically to you, Austin, if you're still on. I'm going to join the Discord channel. I want to talk about this with you for a little bit, because that was incredible.
Let's see, I have a way to do this.
Hello.
So, how about all that?
I mean...
Smile.
Smile? Why did that make me join automatically? That was so weird. 1 second. I need to do this one. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Yes, please do remove that. It only takes a second. So that should work, right? Yep. Okay, cool. Should have the Discord bubbles now.
Nice.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I thought, okay, I feel like they retconned some stuff. Because in Shadowbringers, I could have sworn in the memory stuff, she had like a whole crew, like Vana had like a crew of like, we need to form Hydaelyn, like, it's like, oh, who's gonna take over Hydaelyn, like, you know, like, they had Elidibus, and then she's like, I'll do it myself. So was she like, did she decide that, then walk to Amarant with all that happening? I was like, well, I'm just gonna go and activate it here. Like, I didn't really, I remember that conversation in Shadowbringers.
I can't say that I don't know the semantics about when someone decided what, but I would say, you know, it's a safe bet to just be like, okay, so through one way or another, whether it be like that, like, and who's to say that scene that we saw was exactly like chronological, you know? Because like, you know, from my understanding, with like the final days, like it got like Zodiark made it better, and then there was a time, and then they were like, I don't know about this guy. But maybe we just misunderstood it. Maybe it was more along the lines of, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and this is when we're gonna do it. And so they were just like, we don't like that at all. And so went ahead and like preemptively did something. So like I don't know. I honestly cannot say. even after going through the story. I cannot say. I just don't know. But she did make mention before that she was going to bring people into her fold. You know, be selective about who she. Be selective about who she was going to bring in.
Well, maybe the
you know,
timeline
whether
does
we
make sense.
maybe they, because you know, she said that one line. You know, whether we have to like prepare for the end or secure our escape. You know, and you've been really like, what's with the Brits? You know, you've really been like, what's up with that? You know, like they're expecting Emirati-sized people, but like, what's going on with that? So securing our escape. You know, there's that going on.
Okay.
But ultimately, what she came to the conclusion from at least what I gathered from that whole scene was that mankind is going to strive to go back to the way things were and try to exist in ignorance of suffering. And so in order to just prevent men from even achieving that, she's taking away our ability to do so until we learn to deal with it.
Right.
That's kind of what I got.
I think the timeline makes sense. If I think about it, Zodiark's created, half of the world's population is sacrificed to create him. She had put together. There's a time in between the first notices of the final days and a bunch of research. So in that time, she probably created a team. The Convocation created a team with Fandaniel. They concluded Zodiark was the way. She already knew what was going to happen because we told her. And so I think that I don't know if she turned herself into Hydaelyn during that cutscene, or if she already was Hydaelyn and she just used her powers to sunder. I think she already was Hydaelyn, because they were about to sacrifice themselves to Zodiark for a second time, because he already existed. And I think they were about to do it again just in that cutscene, which I think Hythlodaeus was part of the second group, because he was still alive when she was walking around.
Yes, and we knew that anyways from when on the when we were on the moon, when they were speaking, all the shades there were ones that were sacrificed to Zodiark. Right. Which is why they were around Zodiark's cage.
Okay. So
it just makes it a little bit more sad.
It does. Which means that must have been the last time Emmett ever saw Hythlodaeus.
It would have been. Yep. Definitely would have been.
I'm pretty happy I was right about Meteon ending up being like the main source of the calamity. The Cloud of Darkness thing was a shot in the dark that I knew was wrong, but I was like, this could be fun.
Definitely a problem. Definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, man, everyone seems really normal around here. Hey, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know. Where she's like, be my friend. Can you be my friend?
No.
What? Also, it's so interesting that Hermes had that distinction of like, I will test man, like we'll see if we deserve to live or not. And then like he abandons that memory and then he gets sundered, and then as Amon he like through Emperor Zande finds a different reason, but is more set on not being fair, but just like, we need to destroy humanity, and therefore installed Meteon to attack again after all this time. And he didn't even know he was doing it until he died. Probably he died and he probably got all those memories back and was like, well, I'm trying to think of Emperor Zande, what is this? You know?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that that a majority of his because before it was more of a, well, fine, let's see, are we really worthy to more so adopting Zande's crazy ideals. Definitely was a bit of a unfortunate coming together for those two, but
yeah, it kind of shows that like, even though we are sundered and different people, I don't think the original personalities have truly escaped us as beings, as like these sundered people. I think the original personalities, and I think we're another prime example of that, for God's sake. I mean, literally, it's like she seems to have the soul of Azim, and it's just they keep talking about her, and then like freaking Emmett Selk at one point's like, yeah, the last time I had heard about her or talked to her, she threw herself headfirst into a volcano that was about to erupt, and it's like, I what? Of course I did. It's like, that's hilarious. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's definitely like for instance, when we spoke with Fan Daniel, and he revealed to us his nature of Amon, and how Emmett approached him and was like, "Hey, this is kind of who you were. Do you want this seat back?" He's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let me get that." So it doesn't necessarily, the title does not make the man,
No.
because he was, the seat of Fandaniel was this way, and Hermes did act this way, but Amon is a totally different beast.
Yes. Amon
So
was
it's very interesting.
Much greater madman. I still think that Ardbert was a hero. It has nothing to do with the seats, I'm just saying that I feel like when she sundered all of the ancients seemed to carry their personalities over into their sundered pieces and through the reincarnations. Whenever they go through the ethereal sea and are reborn, it seems like that part of that stays, because it's still not clear whether or not Asahi was Fandaniel as well, but didn't unlock that personality until he died. But if that's the case, it makes sense, because Asahi was kind of the same way. The personality, and then Ardbert, another piece of us in the first, was also extremely heroic, just like at the second Azim, or at least there could have been more before Vana, but as far as we're aware, the second Azim, it was us, and the original version, and then us and then Ardbert were all very heroic people that could change hearts and got involved in other people's problems and then helped them in any way possible that we could. And so I think that's something that's very interesting to think about. I don't know, it makes me wish we had met Urion J's original version. To be perfectly honest. I wanted to meet unsundered Urion J really badly. But what was her getting covered in the black ink about? Is that so Heidelin's been feeling everybody's, potentially has been feeling everybody's pain and suffering and the muck and the disgustingness of humanity just coming out, and she's experiencing all of it as she's gone through time?
I think it's used more of a visual device of her representing mankind through their struggles. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and what is it all for, and why are we made to suffer this way, and yada yada yada. But yeah, I know some people were kind of especially the scene where Flash was between Bina and then us with Emmett.
Yeah.
Some people were like, "Oh, are we Bina?" I'm like, no. That's just really cool. It's just a really, really cool visual.
Yeah, no, I think they made it very clear in the past, right before that ourselves was off doing some crazy crap somewhere.
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
Definitely not the case, but definitely a very cool visual. Because at that point, we were also bearing the burden of mankind, and we do that a lot.
Yeah.
So just like her, I think it's just cool, kind of side by side.
Well, in that same vein, to give those questions some credit, do you think that when Emmett saw an Ascian standing there, do you think he saw Azim or Vana?
I still believe that it would be Vana. Or not Vana, sorry, Azim.
So you think it would have been our original selves, not Vana's?
I think it would have been, because going based off of what we know, Emmett would have known Vana, would have directly opposed him with Heidelin, You know, and so like, and then it's like
His
a question
reaction.
of, right? I feel like his surprise, I don't think would be warranted. I feel like he would know that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Well,
I think it's because like him and Vana are like cool,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say they're like friends, friends. You know,
Right.
but like him and Azim, on the other hand, seem to have been very good friends.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely is more of like an emotional thing for him.
I wonder what they would do
Yeah.
if they ever did show our original self as an ancient. I imagine they'd keep the cowl up and the mask on, but I wonder if they're like the face underneath would be a similar design to us, like slightly.
Well, see, I've wondered that too, and I'm curious if they have a separate model that uses the non-race specific variants of your character.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, like you, for example,
I wouldn't have
your
the scales
person
or
may
the
have
tail.
like darker blue hair, maybe purple or blue eyes, same kind of skin tone, you know, and that would probably be it.
Right.
So I don't know. I would think that'd be pretty cool. But that just depends on if they would want to take it there.
Yeah. No, it's all interesting thoughts. But yeah, it does seem like Hydaelyn's not a collective mind. It's just Vana with a different name, really, and more power, is really what it feels like.
Now, all that being said, I want to just replant this worm in your ear.
Oh,
because
no.
it's a detail. It's a detail that you have heard and seen, but I don't know if you have really noticed it yet.
I may have noticed it, I just don't always bring everything up. Depends on how much I thought it was important. What else, man?
Elidibus.
Right.
He said he saw you in Elpis.
And he wasn't there. Yeah, I was very confused by that.
I'll just let you sit on that for a little bit. But,
we don't even know what Elidibus actually looked like still. We know his actual mask now, but still don't even know what ancient he was. We never saw him. Or La Habrea, for that matter. I thought because we were going to go to the past, I thought that was the reason we were going to end up with the La Habrea raids. And then now it feels like it's a bit closed off, and I'm like, well, now I don't know. I am back to confusion again.
Right.
I'll wait
Well,
till
you
the end
are
of it.
officially on the last set of quests.
Really? These are level 88.
Correct. Though they always come in. The quests always come in sets of 2 levels. So you know, like 80 to 82, 83 to 80, or 82 to 84. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, 82 to 83, 84 to 85, 86 to 87, 88 to 90.
I know that like the last 2 quests are, you know, a couple hours, but how many quests do I have left?
You have at least 20.
Whoa!
At least 20. And yes, they like. I can tell you, the very last one by itself will take at least 2 hours, maybe 2.5.
Woo! Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you still got a good little bit, but you are in the last chunk.
Alright. I don't think anyone except for like Chris and maybe one other. Well, you. I think. No, Chris isn't on. I think you and like one other person who's appeared on every single one of my streams, but I don't know which one it is here. So if that person is here, I'm just gonna go and announce this right now. I'm streaming tomorrow now because of what's happening. It will be another long stream.
and I'm getting this. I'm getting it done, baby. I am not waiting until Tuesday when I only have 3 hours to play. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get it done.
I'm gonna keep going tonight anyways. I still got like a few more hours in me. Although I need water. I need water really bad, but my fridge is. I don't know if I told you this. My sister, when she got this house, she got it from other people, and I asked her. I was like, I couldn't twist the water filter out for the fridge, the water and ice filter, because it didn't taste too great when I had like some ice water. And I was like, hey, what? And I was like, did you put like Gorilla Glue? And she's like, oh, I was never able to open it. And she's like, I'm like, oh, wait, what? She's like, yeah, I never replaced that filter. And I'm like, how long have you owned the house? She's like, 5 years. And I'm like, and you got it from other people? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's really gross. I was like, that makes sense why you had a drawer full of water bottles down at the bottom of the fridge. Like, okay. So I through ingenuity got it open, and the filter isn't like horrifying, but it's not clear. So I just need to figure out where to buy one. But at the moment, I don't like using sink water, but and the ice is also bad because it's a water and ice filter. So I essentially have like just room temperature tap water to drink out of the sink. I'm constantly thirsty. This fridge is old. It's hard to find. Maybe I'd DoorDash a cup. Do you think a DoorDasher would kill me if I made them DoorDash a cup of water?
I mean, as long as you paid them, I don't think they care.
That's also true. I'm not gonna do
that.
That
was my motto when I always did it. I was like, hey, if I'm getting money, I don't really care what you ask for.
I think they get less of a tip the less you order, though. As far as I'm aware. Are you gonna watch my first official newscast for Fox 56 when it happens this Monday, Austin? At 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You don't sound sure.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be available and not where I work. We're
They
sleeping.
have TVs at prison, don't they, Austin?
Not in my office.
You should get a TV in your office, Austin.
That would be nice. But then I gotta worry about all the inmates coming back and just sitting down and watching TV. I'm like, no. This is the office TV.
Alright, well, you are on stream, so don't divulge any information you're not supposed to that could get you in trouble. Just keep that in mind.
Of course.
Alrighty. Well, let me go through my mental bank of questions and topics real quick before I swap the stream back to solo. And probably go get myself some water from the gas station mart that's like a 2-minute drive from here.
Nice.
Let me think. I think it was so appropriate to play the Answers music. I think that was an incredible music choice. I feel like the name of the song, I mean, first of all, says it all. I feel like the lyrics really fit now, like they really match. And I think that's ironic because they did not have Stormblood, let alone Heaven's Word, probably written when A Realm Reborn came out. In my personal opinion. Like, they have expanded on it so much. They've retconned like a couple things, but it's gotten crazy, and I commend them for being able to use the song still, for it to still have such significance and meaning and power, despite the fact that it could, for other things, when they don't utilize stuff correctly, it can be really jarring to bring stuff like that back. So I thought it was really good. I was very happy. And honestly, Vanna's speech is so hardcore. This is probably my final topic here. Vanna's speech is so hardcore that I thought she was going evil for like a second. I was I was like, oh god, why is she looking down, pulling out her sword? She's about to kill all these people. That's not good. But yeah, how did you feel about that after your mistrust of Hydaelyn for so long since Shadowbringer's post? Or even during Shadowbringers, actually, when you learn that she's a primal.
Hey, there's still time on the clock.
There is still time on the clock.
There's definitely still time on this clock.
You're not wrong. Man, poor Kryl and literally everyone else is just sitting here like, some stuff has happened. You know, the leaders decided to do this. Like, well, we think the Dynamite. I'm just like, yeah, I went to the past and hung out with Emmett Selk, the original form of Hydaelyn and Hythlodaeus. I'm sorry, what? It's just... Okay. You win. I always have to come into these meetings with, like... it's like a competition. Come into these meetings and they're just like, well, I got this. Like, Hien's doing this over here in Doma. It's like, these people died in this town. It's like, well, we've been able to stop some of these monsters. And I just gotta come in, swinging this big pile of information. Everyone's face is just like, look at this. Look how much better I am at finding things than you are. Revere me. That's how it feels in every single one of these meetings. The one thing I do like about this game, like a lot, is that actually, because I have never particularly liked it in stories when people like hold things to themselves or keep secrets, because it doesn't ever make any sense and doesn't do any good for anyone ever. They're like, I'm just trying to protect them. I'm like, well, won't they just be the same amount of hurt and angry at you at the same time if you don't tell them or let them find out later instead of just telling them now? I don't really understand. I'm like, I don't know. I've never enjoyed it. I don't think it's ever been a good source of conflict or drama. But in this game, it's just like, maybe we shouldn't tell people anything because we're in the past. And then Vanaw sits us down and is like, well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter too much, is it? And then I'm just like, you're right. So here's my story. I rode in on a chocobo carriage back in day one with these two twins. Emmett, you're evil. Hythlodaeus, you're funny. Vanaw, you're a god. By the way, I'm also your friend Azim. Specifically, a total of 9 pieces of her. / him. 9, right? Yeah, because World was rejoined 7 times. I'm one of them, and then Ardbert was added. So 7 of them, 1 of me 8, and Ardbert 9. Yeah, so we're 9 pieces of a full ancient at this point. Whereas everyone else on the source should be 8. Unless they don't get rejoined that way, but it's not very clear. Anyway, mild tangent there for fun. Alright, thanks for the topic of discussion, Austin. Everyone say goodbye to Austin. Anyone who's in the stream.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Alrighty. That was fun. That was nice. It was fun. It was nice. It was cool. Yeah. I'm gonna take a quick break to go get water. I am immensely thirsty. It's gonna be a bit of a longer intermission than normal, in which case I'm gonna put on some music and I will see you guys. We'll try to make it 6:35, 6:40, hopefully earlier than that, but just stay tuned. I will be back as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching so far. We'll be back in a little while.
Raindrops, star drops, the clouds won't stop. My umbrella hangs by the door. The skies are blue, the darkest of blue. Now I swear I felt this before. You sent me here. Are you still there? When days are long, I sing a song. A tiny palm rolls Quiet summer nights, flowers in the rain. I wish on all the stars it'd stay the same. I keep them in my heart, the endless feelings of fragile tiny pieces of our love. We once found it kind of strange how everything can change and fade away. But now I look up at the distant sky and remember all those quiet summer nights. Starlight in your eyes, beautiful and bright. I think of how our worlds must have appeared so close that summer night. If I could try again, we'd fly through the cosmos. La 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 Can we sit here for a while? Just for a little bit. This is kind of nice, don't you think?
Clearly longer than I thought it would be. I am back. Thanks to anyone who stuck around. Alright, let's get into the next few sets of quests here, shall we? Alright, we're about to have a meeting. Hers is perhaps more or urgent. Interesting. So, have you learned aught more of the final days? A lot. Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time in the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Scions are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Alice and Alphino have been traveling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Locus Amonis is one of the worst affected. Thancred, Estinian, and Groha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succor to those in need. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating still. But a drop in the bucket at least. In the meantime, Y'shtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. As for Tataru and I, we've been keeping a close eye on the Forum. From what we gather, they've been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades in the making. However, since we've seen no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You'll also recall the proposal issued by Master Fortuno to the people of Rods at Han. Following their discussion, Vitra declared his support for the plan and urged those who wish to evacuate to accept the Forum's invitation. So far, so good. That's where things get a little strange. Apparently, the Forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of the mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure a safe passage for the heinous refugees to the tower, Alphino, Alice, Estinian, and Groha traveled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now the final days have come to Garlemald. Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to rendezvous with Master Fortuno. Then panic broke out, and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link show went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you, Mometal. Please, you must help them. Having you there will make all the difference, I'm sure of it. Camp Broken Glass was their first port of call, so you'd best start there. Hopefully, Lucia will know where they are. There's no telling what she'll be walking into, so we had best take every possible precaution. We need to gather, like, all the big hitters, the Scions and all the leaders, and I just need to tell them everything I learned after we go deal with this. There's still one more place I haven't been to. Right? Yep, there's one more place I have not been to. Now that concerns me a lot. Metal, and not a moment too soon. The skies over Garlemald are ablaze, but it's events on the ground that concern me. As you will have heard, your fellow Scions arrived ahead of you. We cut the customary greeting short after we received word from our troops on the Magna Glakis that the Forum's airship had landed. It was then that the heavens began to burn. I dispatched your friends at once to ensure the refugees came to no harm. I would have you join them immediately. Additional support is en route, but we will discuss them later. I trust you are ready to depart. Oh man. Oh boy, oh buddy, oh pal.
No. 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 We were promised an escape. Not the same you fled.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must build a line of defense. How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
That's a big boy right there.
I can handle this pair. You
shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
As you wish, my little lord.
I'm playing as Alpha now, aren't I?
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
Trying to heal you all to max. Is that what's going on?
Those who can stand, come with me!
Easy now. Deep breaths. You're safe now.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself.
Sorry for the lack of commentary, guys. I'm doing my absolute best. To focus on this. I kind of hate having to do this, but okay.
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
To me.
Those who can stand, come with me!
You're safe now. Easy now. Deep breaths.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself.
I've never played healer before in my life, like at all. So that was a bit of a different experience.
Help! Someone, please!
What?
What in the world is that?
Don't. I don't want to die.
Forward! Let not a single fiend escape!
This is ironic and incredible.
Wait, that's
What's left of the
Julius and
Imperials.
the army. So, you've recovered then?
And he's got a fit on. Look at that jacket.
In time enough to be
Woo!
obeyed. For once. We can speak of it more later. For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride! Of that I've no doubt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial army. Oh!
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Think a withdrawal might be in order?
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate. To be devoured by their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices. Now, let's go!
Like right now, I gotta play as Ali said. Oh boy.
I'm not done yet.
Nothing to worry about. The air crackles with energy. Find cover!
As they say, turnabout best legs.
There's not the barest trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back.
Thank you for saving our lives once again. I remember you, from Purusha. You helped us there too, didn't you?
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece. Or you will be, once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
Now here's the trailer. Except it's Graha.
Get out of here! Quickly! I won't lose them! Not a one! This will be a brighter future! I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve!
Get it together, Alize. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of Father, no less. You might never measure up to our champion. But we ask too much of her as it is. You mustn't let Eorzea's hero fight alone. Oh!
What would I say? I don't really like any of these responses. I mean, I do, but like none of them are really what I would say. I don't think. I'd deflect with humor, so this is the closest we're gonna get. It's a little too flippant, but
I can look after myself, you know.
Everything's in order, I trust?
I've had enough of this rabble! Come on!
What am I playing as? Okay, this one's
a trio for the ages.
I had a feeling I'd find you here. This should be the last of the worst troublemakers. With me!
Very interesting. I got bust damage. best player on the team. Just saying, maybe you guys pick up your slack here.
Seriously though, trying to send them through the portal in the Tower of Babel in the wastelands of Garlemald.
You must board without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated. But will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you. That power is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon. Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
It seems they've a new destination.
The people of Radzat-Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
I quite agree. Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Yes. Well.
Behind you! Just there!
More of them.
Xenos. Oh, baby. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Xenos! Here!
You'll be all right. Hurry to the airship.
Why have you come?
I've turned a new leaf. I'm a good guy now.
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying. Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
That is, and has ever been, my sole concern. You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry. Your passion pales before mine, yet neither hate nor despair seems sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust.
So you're gonna help me beat this thing? So you can fight me? Please tell me you're gonna say that. I hope you...
So, I hone my blade, and I wait.
That's it. That's all you care about. Garlemald is in ruins. Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone. Along with so many of its people. Not just soldiers like us. Not only those who fought and killed for power and duty. Innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood. Lost and confused as they breathed their last. While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death. The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing! You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing, in the end. So much wasted effort.
You bastard!
For your own sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
Would you be happier had I a good reason?
What?
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty, honor, morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends? Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone. Should you seek it in battle in the fruitless pursuit of my demise, then come. Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death. But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Xenos! Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day. You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
That's weird. I don't think Xenos is ever going to change. He might take a different approach here and there, but I think he's just purely mentally ill. Uh-oh. Am I still live?
The refugee ships will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being.
Is everything okay on the stream? Hasn't dipped out of existence, has it? It said there was an error. Hi, is my stream still running correctly? Any dip outs or anything, guys? Oh. Hello? Never mind for now. I think Austin's the only one who would know at the moment. Alright, never mind. Back to Fortuno. Well, if my stream crashed, I think it would have stopped, wouldn't it? Like, it wouldn't still be going, right? I don't know. I'll have to see later.
There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish. Do contain your surprise. I needn't agree with the Scion's methods or intentions to acknowledge that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, 'tis only meet that I explain myself to the Ilzabard contingent.
Allow us to accompany you then. We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
He'll be after your seat on the forum next.
Switch it out. Sorry, I didn't read that. To see Xeno standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant. Gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind. Looking back on it, I stand by those words.
I would say I hope they won't incite him to further villainy. To be honest, I doubt he even remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all of that. It's good to see you again. Look at this, these things are huge. Oh, they're grinders.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuneau Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days.
I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions.
That's called forgiveness, people.
Regardless of the
Learn it,
circumstances
live
that
it.
saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuneau. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Charlian alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
Any other, I would doubt. But you, I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Oh, yeah, the first, I did stop by there. Some more crap happened.
Did you hear something just now?
We don't have cat ears. There's a weird noise. What are one of the Loporits doing on the planet?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Pudding way? What are you doing there?
Dawn may banish, even after this bitter climb bring warmth and comfort.
Oh my god. Urianger, you have ever been a man
Disheartening to see such
of
an
entrances.
assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Etheris. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Hydaelyn's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hello, fellow. Well met. You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Hydaelyn's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Sharlayan, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperites made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights.
I am no esteemed philosopher of Eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all. Wilt thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Am I just gonna tell everyone who shows up? We should do
If that's
that.
all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Well, yeah, you're wearing shorts. I'm in a
Oh, I
kimono.
dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
I like this. I still don't like the idea of an exodus. I feel like that should not happen. If that makes any sense. I dare say Master Fortuner was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Hydaelyn's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may have yet time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. Are we gonna tell the Forum about the other shards and how I went? We probably should, so they're aware of kind of like what the final days is. Because I feel like while the ship is nice, I think it's for constant movement. There's pudding. There's no way to. I don't think there's a possible way to settle down in any planet without Medion just completely destroying you wherever you go. Like I feel like if it's in constant movement and with a layer of like ether surrounding it, I don't think there's any way for her to get us, but I don't think there's too many ways for us to stay safe from her. I am being attacked by you, rabbit boy. That was trained defensive. Hey, almost everyone's here. We aren't missing anyone, right? Other than Reen. But unfortunately she can't be here. What? Why is this not voiced? Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Aetherius, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loperites a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you've obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. Alright, to what revelations did Hydaelyn's Elpis flower lead? I time traveled.
I can't wait to see the reaction to this one. This one's probably my weirdest, like, solo adventure I've been on. Then, this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nadana's theory. We're an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast, dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Meteon. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Aetheris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteon and we deliver the world from the final days, but to even attempt it there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vanar, the woman who had become Hydaelyn. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume our Hydaelyn and the Vanar you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Hydaelyn possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Aetheris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? I don't think you're right. I think she's still the same person. It's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provide clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteon. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Can't be that far. Then communing with Hydaelyn must be necessary come first. Do you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arnvold and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, but closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, but we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's see what they have to say. Maybe we can borrow one of their ships to get to Meteon? What if she's hiding on the moon? I feel like she couldn't have gone that far, but I don't think she's within nearby orbit.
Excuse me. The forum is in session, and as such, the rostra is closed to visitors. Sign of the Seventh Dawn. Well, very well. You may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, the sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Remember when we were fighting dragons?
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter.
Honorable judge, honorable Judge Bro moment. Now presiding.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzatan. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzatan was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan.
You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
In parentheses,
And
not
how,
the beast
pray
tribes.
tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration.
We need said Garland.
I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their
Really?
terms to be perfectly
Walter Shane
acceptable.
is a homie.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote.
Well, this guy does have a point.
All
Good,
in
good for
favor
him.
of
No time to
agreeing
waste
the
on debate.
Scion's terms?
You haven't asked what our purpose for using the vessel is. We'll tell you if you want to know.
"71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Yeah, so they're just gonna leave the beast tribes behind. Of course they are. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both the means of communicating with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteon, at the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to prove it, though. Well, Sid Garland, we should probably call him. Like, he's probably the only person who could help us do this. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archeon. I trust you can make your own way there. So, the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Highly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Wait. So, I get this little fun picture here from my friend. Just there's gotta be a way to zoom, but I don't know what that is. Look at him right there. Oh, he's gone. That was honestly hilarious. So where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Alphalane take you to the medial circuit. Funny little blue man real quick. You wish to use the lift, yes? I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of Meriol Agronomics. Actually, there is something I have been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. You know, I see everyone changing their characters sometimes, and I just don't, I don't know, man. I love my character design so much. I don't think it'll ever change. This is very sad. Alexa, play Despacito. We have lost one good thing about the art in this game. Were the crystallized grapes. They were truly a work of art beyond comprehension. Now they're gone. It happens. It's life. But it doesn't mean it hurts any less. Quite sad, truly. Only been streaming for 6 hours? The one other long stream I did that one Friday was like 9 hours long. We'll see if I go that long. We'll see where I get to. Considering the pace of which I'm going, tomorrow's stream may be the last Final Fantasy stream. In which case, every stream afterwards is gonna be doing whatever. Saving some clips, but not all clips probably. These full streams I'm going to start editing down next week, so my streams might be a little shorter. Because I plan on finishing the story tomorrow at this point. That should be a fun editing endeavor for sure. I'll worry about it later. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here, being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, simulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, the father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It's all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon's surface, each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loperids have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, That's incorrect. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not being an idiot here. That is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none. Thrive where all is barren. Yeah, no, that's wrong. That's the writers for the text box made a mistake. Though the Loperids have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, so the Loperids have been working to make the moon unlivable. I'll give the text box writers a pass. There's a lot of text to write. Things happen. Some things slip through the cracks, and no one thinks about it as they read it, because I'm the only one who's reading it out loud to a stream in another voice, focusing on each word so I could maintain the accent, while nearly running out of breath to do so, because for some reason doing other accents forces more air out of my lungs than talking normally. I don't know why. I think I'm doing it wrong. I'm reading it one more time. Though the Loperids have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay. Moving on. I'll screenshot it. Sent it to Square Enix so they can retype. In case no one else has pointed it out. And I'll double check with somebody else as well to make sure I'm not crazy. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust, your trust. Then let us proceed. By the decree of the Forum, the Sires of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Maybe it's my definition of... Sorry, it's just on my mind. Inhabitable. I just really want to make sure I'm correct. Nope. I'm wrong. I'm thinking of like other... That's English is weird. That was correct. No, that was correct. I'm glad I didn't go and send that. I'm so used to words with IN at the beginning, meaning you are unable to do that, but I guess habitable and inhabitable mean the same thing, but uninhabitable is the one where it's bad.
Looks like the usage of the word habitable has declined over the years compared to the usage of the word inhabitable. This is a completely off-topic thing. I am the one that is in the wrong because I just got confused because English sucks. Alright, the ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokolo Dunkole. Kokol Dunkole, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. No one invited Sid? No one thought to do that? He hasn't even been part of the story yet, which is very weird. I almost feel like it doesn't matter where we travel. The more I think about it, I don't remember them mentioning the moon having an ether protection. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't have an ether protection, it doesn't matter where we go. Dynamis is an emotional energy. She's attacking us from afar. There's no reason she couldn't get us inside the ship, which would be even worse.
Could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost me eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Huh. Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
Rude.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperites?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say. and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Oi, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some in's like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
I'm gonna go and fetch the whatsits.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours. What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Wrong DLC! This is the worst DLC of all time. They wrong name.
This is
wrong name.
Alphinaud.
I'm pissed.
The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Sword expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allegan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Any road. If you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon the whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
It's times like these we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphino has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know, and for you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. You scheming behind our back with another person. How dare. Oh, is old Dawes whole shtick gonna start now?
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Viergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Chizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, When we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiencies so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
I appreciate it. They kind of already wrote your character out in a way, though, so believe it as much as you want. Yeah.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah.
Rest in peace, Portioner. Horsefont. What? Wait. Well, I'm so tired. I'm gonna shut up. Rest in peace, buddy. Well, rest in peace, my buddy.
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Who is it? Tiamat's still alive. Reacher's around. Racefolger's dead. Nidhogg's dead. Bahamut is like double or triple dead.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Hmm? Is that?
Hancock? What a surprise this is.
Oh, Sauron.
And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
What is happening? All these things are coming together, though. I can feel the finality of these quests. Often I was resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. No job too small. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough! If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. Huh, if only Master Kokol knew how right he was. When he and Grohard establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And, if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, aren't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah! That law need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Song of hope, she dances on the wind. Higher, oh higher. Da-da-da-da-da. Ay, 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 ay. We still haven't gotten that contact to Heidelin, which we kind of desperately need. Just throw that out there real quick. Da, 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 da.
From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Monteshane mentioned. So by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the ether, right? Once our work is done. For it later. Let me get the rest of these when I'm done. So my question, of course, is like, so I've expressed my opinion that I don't really want to go and do space travel. I guess the question that is formulating in my mind is that how hard are they going to go with the story here on Exodus? Like, how much is that going to be implemented? I almost feel like they're leaning into it like so much to the point where they might go out to space. I don't want to go to space too much. It sounds like most societies are dead out there, so it doesn't matter anymore. But up in with the Ark. Even with all the power Master Coco's managed to squeeze out of the ether burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the Exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the ether burner. Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties, checking and loading samples day in and day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. The forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortuno and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Will even have time to sleep. Ugh, the nighttime is getting to me. I'd love to find this third person. That'd be fantastic. Offering to help, that's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of all the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I'm not even the slightest idea what they look like. I hope they're not enormous, looming giants. I would prefer something small and fluffy, like that behatted rabbit that ran by. No one tell them.
Fancy meeting you here, Moa Metal. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Aetherius itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we had a chance to ponder on Jay and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Wouldn't that be fun?
Tour of Labyrinthos? An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestways Burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by the Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. What a marvelous idea! Why don't we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah, yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Moa Metal. I can do this. I can do this. I know what it is. I know what it is for sure. I haven't seen it yet, but I know what it is. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features? It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying the water drawn up from below. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? Must be because of those cogs in that gigantic wheel at the top. I see, that's how they draw off the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. You spotted an hemistoma, especially a lively one at that. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world, somehow. That's very interesting. mushroom like that. That looks like the trees in Greatest Innsvale. Hold on, it's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. Oh, now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from the underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. For us Loporrits, that is. Indeed. Securing a reliable source of water is the utmost importance in any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that people of Aetheris sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear. I worry we won't be able to produce the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from dying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we had anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, but once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual, it may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Sorry, I heard something weird. I don't know what that was. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon. Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loporrits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlie and Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. You cannot help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. We were not escorted here by burly custodians. I dread to think what would become of us. Regrettably, too many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth. Loporrits may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. Oh man. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction what's it? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh my god. I'm having a really hard time staying awake, so I think I need to call it here. We'll pick up tomorrow for hopefully the final stream of our Endwalker adventure. Then I can get to editing it all together. The week after will be me grinding some stuff, swapping between games. It'll be Final Fantasy Endwalker, it'll be Overwatch, it'll be Apex and Destiny 2, Valorant, Hades. Might do some figure out what to do for some just chatting stuff. Anything comes to mind. Maybe I'll have an editing stream where I show myself editing, something along those lines, and just talk. So, whatever I can think of, that'll be next week. Hopefully we get the rest of the story done tomorrow. I'm just way too tired to even wrap up this quest. And I feel like I'm in the final set of quests that are like relaxing, of like just like silly stuff going on. These are probably the last ones we're gonna get. But I don't want to end the night on a somber note where it starts getting all serious and deadly. So we'll start tomorrow on this fun little journey of trying to keep the Loporrit safe. Whenever we complete the story is when the stream tomorrow will probably end. Probably be looking at, what time should I start? Saturday? Make sure people are awake. I'm gonna start about an hour earlier than I normally do. Probably, 1 o'clock, so 1 p.m. EST. I'll be putting a notification out on my social media, so everyone keep an eye out on that. That'll be a more accurate update of what's going down. For any reminders, my social medias for Twitch updates are at Faulkner_Red for Twitter and Red Faulkner TTV for Instagram. There will be a YouTube page put together tomorrow. I'm gonna get that done tomorrow. I'm gonna have that up, and I will be posting all of my VODs to that page first, and then we will be releasing the first highlight of the series, as well as some little YouTube shorts from some of the clips you guys have saved. If you guys have saved any clips, please, let me know about them. I mean, obviously I could go check my clip library for anyone who's made one. If you have made one, I really appreciate it. If you haven't, but you remember a moment you want to put into a highlight or a funny little like YouTube short, please go ahead and clip it. Go through the VOD, clip it, find it, let me know as soon as you can that you've done that. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. It makes it easier for me to go ahead and start putting those on YouTube instead of having to scrub through a VOD to be like, oh, that was a good moment, and then get it myself. You know what I'm saying? So do whatever you guys need to do on that front. I really appreciate your guys' time. I really appreciate all my friends who keep stopping by the stream. I know that, part of it's you guys trying to support me, part of it's you guys just want to see my reaction to the story, but the support is greatly appreciated no matter what. So yeah, I'll see you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And we'll be going for as long as we need to until the story's done. And once that's done, I'm probably going to take a break from streaming on Sunday and on Monday, and I'll see you guys back again on Tuesday of next week. But first, I'll see you tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.